It's Independence Day, so let's talk about what's going on in America. Freedom, it's under attack in your state. Your Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors. I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight, or join us in California, where we still believe in freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom to choose, freedom from hate, and the freedom to love. Don't let them take your freedom.
Paid for by Newsom for California Governor 2022.
First of all, before I even get into the content of the ad, I just want to say that having Democrats not shying away from the fight is so desperately needed. For so long, Democrats have been more focused on bipartisanship and compromise, all while Republicans have not only shown zero interest in any of those things, but have worked their asses off to completely torch the Constitution, our laws, our institutions, and our precedents. The idea that we should constantly defer to these Republicans and give them the benefit of the doubt when they are simultaneously broadcasting that they don't even think that Democrats have the right to get elected is not only weak, but it is why we lose. The fact is that we're facing an unprecedented threat in this country from a Republican Party that has outright abandoned democracy. During the last January 6th committee hearing, we saw that Mike Flynn, Trump's national security advisor, couldn't even answer whether he believes in the peaceful transfer of power. He had to plead the fifth on that question. That is the party we're dealing with. The answer here is not to blindly defer to them. The answer is to win. It's to fight. It's to recognize that this country is worth saving and having a spine and actually saving it. Remember too, before you say that half of the country wants what the Republicans are selling, that is completely untrue. The agenda that the GOP is ramming through right now doesn't even come close to representing the majority of Americans. On abortion, 70% of Americans support Roe, the law that Republicans just spent the last 50 years trying to overturn. Or take a look at common sense gun safety steps. 87% of Americans support mental health restrictions, 81% support background checks, 77% support red flag laws, 2/3 support bans on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Just this past week, the conservatives on the Supreme Court ruled against New York's laws preventing carrying firearms in public, an issue that 79% of Americans oppose. On issue after issue after issue, the Republicans are pushing an agenda that is wholly and aggressively unpopular and out of touch with the American people. So again, the idea that we should take that line down or seek compromise with far-right Christo-fascists so that we have only slightly worse extremist laws is quite possibly the most impotent response imaginable. Now, as for Newsom's ad, he hits the nail on the head in terms of freedom being under attack, and he used that word purposefully because you've certainly noticed that Republicans love to co-opt the ideas that they are simultaneously attacking. And so they'll crow about freedom on a daily basis, all while stripping people of their freedom to read certain books, all while stripping people of their freedom to do what they want with their own bodies, all while stripping people of their freedom to cast ballots, all while stripping people of their freedom to marry who they want, all while stripping people of their freedom to be governed free from religious rule, and on and on. Republicans only want freedom so long as it comports with their own political and religious views. Otherwise, they won't waste a single second making sure that they restrict every other freedom that you have. So it is long past time that Democrats recognize that having these fights are not only worth it, but they are winnable. We are on the right side of these issues. These fights unite the Democratic Party and divide the Republican Party. Those aren't fights we should shy away from. Those are fights we need to win. And I hope people see the success that Gavin Newsom has had with a spate of recent clips that he's posted onto Truth Social, as well as this ad that'll air on Fox News, and they'll realize that there is a massive appetite for this. Not just truthful content, but a politician who's actually willing to fight back. And for example, here are some of those other clips that I was referencing.
Hey everybody, it's Governor Gavin Newsom, and we're all on this platform in search for the truth. And the truth is, there's no issue that drives so much of our anxiety more than the issue of jobs and the economy. But it's an interesting fact that GDP growth in California last year outpaced all red states in America. In fact, the fastest growing economies in the United States, top 3, are all democratically led states. The question is, what is it about so many of the blue states and their economic success that Republican states are not considering? Hey everybody, it's Governor Gavin Newsom, and I know we're all on this platform in search for the truth. But the truth is, I've not been able to find a simple explanation for the fact that we have a red state murder problem. 8 of the top 10 states with the highest murder rates happen to be red states. So the question is simple. What are the laws and policies in those states that are leading to such carnage? Hey everybody, it's Governor Gavin Newsom, and again, we are all here with one thing in common, and that's the search for the truth. And the truth is, there was an analysis done recently of the 14 states with the highest COVID death rates. And they had one thing in common. They are all led by Republicans. In fact, you compare California, for example, to Florida, 52% higher death rates, COVID death rates in Florida than California. So my question is a simple one. How do we define pro-life?
And the common thread in all of these is that Newsom is taking the fight head on. Is it because he's running for president one day? Who knows? That's certainly a possibility. But frankly, I don't care. My sole priority right now is highlighting people who recognize that we need to do something to push back against the Republican agenda that is scaring the everlasting shit out of people. There are women who've lost autonomy over their own bodies today in 2022 in the United States of America. There are LGBT couples who don't know if they'll have the right to get married in certain states soon. There are scared parents who don't know if newly relaxed gun laws will mean their kids won't make it out of school that day. On issue after issue after issue, Republicans have put our safety, our freedoms, and our lives at risk. I'm sorry, but if that's not worth fighting, then honestly, what the fuck is? To see more videos like this, click the subscribe button right here on this screen. And to support my work beyond that, check out my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I cover the week's most important stories and interview the biggest players in the world of politics, including President Biden, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Katie Porter, and so many more. The link is also right here on this screen. And finally, to take action yourself and sign petitions on the most important issues, go to briantylercohen.com/petition.